Hi, my name is Tyler Burton. This is my wife, Elizabeth, and we are here excited to be here. We love this class. We love this church. We love our people at Heavenly Rest. Um, I'm an assistant principal at Madison Middle School here in town. Currently, this is my third year as an administrator, and in the final phase of my doctorate. And so we have three wonderful children, and you can talk about the children.
Oh, I'm Elizabeth. I am a stay-at-home mom, former first grade teacher, and a couple years before COVID, Tyler and I made the decision that we would homeschool our kids. So, former teacher, administrator, homeschooled kids. Funny, right?
It is funny.
We have three children. Our daughter is our oldest. Her name is Abigail, with a V, A-V, Abigail. She is 6, so she is really the only one formally in school, in kindergarten. And then we have our first son, Jax. He is 3. And then our newborn baby is 4 months old. He will be 5 months this week. Before we start, I do want to just say that as we tell our story of, just our story and how Heavenly Rest has played into that, we will be mentioning the loss of babies, miscarriage, so just kind of a warning at the beginning just in case. I know that can be a hard... I know it can be hard.
Yeah. We're kind of telling our story through the lens of this theme that that Mother Corey and I had talked through, the church, Triumphant, kind of this season of Easter, this season of resurrection, and kind of our story, not just our story as a couple and as a family, but the story of how we ended up at Heavenly Rest and have just, it's kind of been a resurrection for us as a unit, honestly. So, anyway, we got married on New Year's Eve of 2011, and 6 weeks after we got married, this one got a job, the big one, not the small one. This one got a job offer. She had always wanted to teach for military kids and military families, and so we moved in the middle of February of 2012 to a very little tiny place called Hinesville, Georgia. I tell people we lived in the Savannah area because it's only about 30 minutes from Savannah.
Yeah.
She took over for a teacher who was medically retired?
I don't know.
Or, anyway, retired at the midpoint of the year. So it was an immediate opening, and she was immediately available. And so we moved and kind of got settled in Georgia. And one of the first things we did was started to look for a church home. I grew up as... I'm a recovering Campbellite, as my therapist likes to say. I grew up in a very conservative, very traditional Church of Christ here in town. I was highly, highly involved. That was what I was expected to do, what I was told to do. That could be a whole different topic later. And you?
My family was military, and so we moved around a lot, and church was not something that was... I don't know if I want to say important. It just wasn't something that we did, really. When we moved to Abilene, finding a church in Abilene is hard. And so I went to church with a lot of friends and experienced a lot of different churches. So I've kind of run the gamut in church, basically. So we're in Georgia looking for a church, which is, if you ever want to hear those stories, they're fun. We had some really interesting experiences. We had some hilarious experiences. We had some very long experiences.
Some at the same time.
But we ended up at this beautiful little church called Spirit of Peace. It was a Lutheran church, or is a Lutheran church, I guess I should say. And just this really small, little, simplistic church, what it needed to be, right close to the water. And
like 2 miles. Seriously.
And we became highly involved. Pastor Gary and his wife Mary became extremely important to us. We were at their house often. They housed us and my sister and dad when we were moving back here. I mean, we were very, very involved. Tyler became the pianist at the church. So moving back here was hard. We were pretty heartbroken. And we found out right away that we were pregnant. Now, it was our choice to move back here. We were trying to start a family and knew that we wanted to be around our family. Both of our parents live here. And we didn't really try to find a church. We just fell back into his parents' church. Like I said, we just moved. Literally 2 days later found out we were pregnant. Yep. New jobs. It was just the easy thing to do. And we never thought we could find something like we had in Georgia here in Abilene. So we had our first child, our daughter, and he was ready to leave the Church of Christ that we were going to here in Abilene. I was not yet, not having been really raised in a church. I didn't have the roots at the church, at his family's Church of Christ. His grandparents go there. His parents go there. I had never had those kind of roots in a church before, and I just wasn't ready to give that up. And then 2 years later, we had our son. And there was just a moment on a Sunday. I remember nursing my baby boy with my Spitfire, independent, wanting to rule the world daughter at my side as the little boys in church got to hand out bread for the journey for visitors, but only boys were allowed to do it. And I just remember thinking, how do I explain this to my daughter? Like, why can't she hand out a silly piece of bread? Let alone more important things like, why can't she pray in front of people? Why can't she preach in front of people? Why can't she lead things? Because now all churches of Christ are different, but this particular Church of Christ is very traditional, very what I would call staunch Church of Christ. And that was kind of the writing on the wall. At the time, I was really involved at Highland, across the street from Heavenly Rest, in a couple of their ministries. And so we thought we might end up there. It's a great church that's heading in a great direction. And I have a lot of friends there, and we really thought that's where we were going to go. And then a friend of ours invited us to Heavenly Rest. And we walked in on Sunday morning, and
right around Memorial Day.
Yeah, of 2018.
2018, yeah. Very, very, very beginning of summer.
And it was home. Just walked in before anything had even started. We were just like, oh, like a deep breath and the beauty and just everything. It was just, I was home. And then the service started, and one of the other things is we had definitely missed the liturgy. The Lutheran Church has a liturgy very similar to the Episcopal Church, and we were missing that, especially me. So we were sold.
Very, very quickly. Yes.
But we were very involved in our church that we were members of, and it was going to be hard to leave. So July 2018, we found out that I was pregnant. We were so excited. And then we went to my first appointment and found out that I was pregnant with twins. And I was even more excited because I'd always wanted twins. And in that moment, I could see our future. We had a daughter and a son. We were going to have twins in about 9 months. We were going to be, hashtag Burton party of, 6?
And going from 4 to 6.
4 to 6. And it was great. And then the next moment changed my life forever. And that was when my doctor told us that neither baby had a heartbeat. And we spent the next 5 hours,
4 or 5 hours, yeah,
in the hospital trying to find a heartbeat. That was a Monday, the end of August, And Friday, I had to have a DNC.
I had just transitioned from the classroom to an administrative role as an assistant principal at an elementary school. So we were starting a lot of new things. We were thinking we were also adding to our family. Anyway, that was the very end of August of 2018, and not 3 weeks after we kind of started this journey of infant loss, of pregnancy loss, this very class started new member formation at Heavenly Rest. It was in existence, but they were starting the next round in kind of the fall semester. And immediately we wanted to be a part of it. And that class and those people were just critical. So loving and caring and understanding and supportive in ways we didn't even understand that we needed, but they did. Because that's who they are as people, and that's who this church is as a community.
So rewind a little bit. It all started with, we missed like 2 Sundays in a row because while I was healing, and then the next Sunday I just emotionally wasn't even ready to see people. And so we thought, well, we should probably tell someone at Heavenly Rest. Of course, everyone at the Church of Christ that his parents went to knew because of his parents being there. And so the first person we emailed was Mitzi, because having 2 children in the children's ministry, she was the one that we just knew the most at that point. And so she asked if she could share it with the clergy, which we said yes, and she did. And immediately...
Like same day?
Yeah, immediately we were surrounded with just love and support, and she herself came over and just sat with me and held me, and I cried, and Mother Claire, who was here before Mother Corey, was just always checking on me. Mother Amanda came with one of the prayer blankets from the church. Heavenly Rest just surrounded us, and as Tyler said, we're extremely vital. And on Sunday mornings when we had this class, everybody would really ask me how I was doing, and it was a true, like, how are you really doing? Not just a, I'm going to ask you how you're doing, but I don't really want the heavy stuff.
It was genuine.
It was genuine.
And they would sit there and, people that you guys as a class have seen, that it just, they'll sit and talk to you for as long as you want to talk to, and listen and just empathize, and it was just different. It felt different, and it is different at Heavenly Rest. And so kind of through this resurrection story of our own in a kind of a different way. If we didn't know we were home before that, we knew we were home as we started walking this journey. All the way through this class, all the way through the stages of grief that we've experienced together, and the healing that has come, and really more understanding about what this means for us as a couple, but being able to be a part of this community has just been vital to us.
And to our kids. I've watched my oldest just blossom in the children's ministry, with all of the people who do Sunday school, and with Mitzi and the amazing things that they do. And Jax just loves he was still nursery age before COVID, and this one over here wasn't even. And then when we found out we were pregnant last year, right as everything started shutting down. And when we went to a couple of outdoor services while I was pregnant with him in the fall, so many people were like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And they knew our story, and they knew our heartbreak and devastation. And so it was amazing. And they were so excited for us in a different way than, I don't know. It just felt different.
It is different. And it's a community that we never really expected, but it is everything that we needed and more. So we would normally join you guys on Zoom in person. On Zoom in person. That was an oxymoron. We would certainly have planned on joining you guys this morning, but we are actually getting ready. We are going to be in person worship for the first time in 13 months. So we are actually getting all the children ready, and we're going to be at the 10:30 service. So if you see us, wave from a socially distanced at least 6 feet. And
our whole crew will be there.
Our whole crew will be there. Yeah. We'll be the loud ones in the front. So
I don't know if we'll be in the front. I know we're kind of running a little over, but just some prayers. As Tyler said, we will be getting ready for church. We are, my grandfather is dying, and he has asked to come to church with us, which is the reason we are going to church in person today. So we just ask for some prayers for that. It's been very hard, and it's been really hard to watch our children have to walk this grief. So, but yes, that is a very quick 15 minutes of what this church means to us, and the Heavenly Rest specifically is just a unique and beautiful, beautiful on the outside and with beautiful people, and how they respond to the people of the church.
So anyway, we hope you'll have a fantastic morning with a great conversation, and we hope to meet you all in person.
Yes.
And we love you, and we pray for you, and have a great Sunday.